This is KGW News at 11.
It looks like he was going so fast that he burned the street.
First at 11, a car chase ends in gunfire in Longview. Tonight, one man is dead, killed by police. Thanks for joining us for KGW News. I'm Evan Watson. This all started with the man passed out in a drive-through line. Ashley Grams takes us through the strange chain of events.
It started with a 911 call. A man was passed out in his car. He was in the drive-thru at Minami Teriyaki in Longview, Washington. Employees tried to wake him up, and they couldn't. That's when medical units showed up and gave the man, later identified as 30-year-old Lewis Earl Johnson Jr., Narcan.
Police say Johnson regained consciousness here at Minami Teriyaki, but then they say he got aggressive and he took off in an orange Dodge Challenger. Police caught up with him a block away at 15th and Hudson.
Officers say Johnson led them on a chase, driving dangerously from that intersection into a residential neighborhood.
I heard the sirens and I came out and I looked and I saw the police cars go by.
But Rutherford soon heard more than just police cars.
Me and him both heard the pops.
Police say they blocked the car in and Johnson fired several shots at an officer. That's when 3 Longview police officers fired back, shooting Johnson.
We come out the front door and we come down to about here and I look over and there's a policeman on top of the dude performing chest compressions.
Johnson died at the scene. The Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team is investigating.
And I started praying for the cops and for him to be okay because I was raised that way, to pray for people regardless of what they've done in life.
Rutherford can still see some of the damage from that chase.
His Challenger was actually, the front part was actually resting in my neighbor's yard right there in front of the tree. He hit the curb hard enough, he broke off a part of his rim.
Investigators say Johnson had a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Now, this pistol had no serial number and they say it was a ghost gun. Reporting in Longview, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.
To an update on a stabbing on a MAX train yesterday. Police are now investigating it as a hate crime. The suspect, 25-year-old Adrian Cummins, is charged with assault and first-degree bias crime. He's accused of stabbing 2 boys, both 17 years of age. They were able to get off the train at the Green Line Flavel Street station. It happened just before 6 last night. The victims, thankfully, are expected to recover. Investigators say Cummins targeted the 2 people because of his perception of their race. Police did not release any info on the race of the victims or what comments led them to a hate crime charge. Cummins is also accused of robbing a convenience store at Knife Point last night. Taking a live look over downtown Portland now on what looks like a foggy Sunday night. Will we see a dry Labor Day ahead? Let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri with a peek at your holiday forecast. Hey, Joe.
Hey there, Evan. Yeah, we're looking at mainly dry conditions heading into Labor Day. But with that said, there is a weak disturbance that's going to move on shore tonight and into tomorrow, bringing in some light sprinkles to start off your Monday. And of course, a lot of you might have the day off for Labor Day and start to see a little bit of some light precipitation move over parts of I-5 right now. But all is quiet compared to what we were seeing, of course, 24 hours ago with that lightning show. And that was one of the best lightning shows I've seen in a very long time. As we bring in Futurecast, we'll put this into motion. We'll kind of run through tomorrow morning. You can see by the late morning, early part of the afternoon, we'll be seeing those clouds clear out, and we'll be seeing temperatures still about 10 degrees cooler from where we should be, which is on average right around 80 degrees for the early part of September. And heading into Tuesday, we'll gradually see our temperatures warm up. But if you're hoping for, temperatures 85, 90 degrees, that's not going to happen. Now, a few showers late tonight and early Monday morning. Most of Labor Day, mainly dry and comfortable. A nice start back to school heading into Tuesday and beyond. And temperatures right now, upper 50s to low 60s. And I feel like summer just kind of shut off. A couple of weeks ago, we were seeing that heat wave. Now it's been a different story. And what's mind-boggling, Evan, I went home tonight on my break. Guess what my wife does? She has all the fall foliage decorations out. And I'm like, hey, baby, it's not over yet. So my point being is we will be seeing a return of summer-like weather. It kind of potentially could be short-lived. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
How quickly everything changes.
I know.
Right? Thank you. Last night's storms are causing problems for the town of Jervis in Marion County. Residents there are being told to boil their water before drinking it for at least 2 days. Lightning hit the water treatment system. causing an electric surge that put the pumps out of service. A crew worked through the night to get 2 of the pumps back up so water could flow to the town again, but officials worried that the water may not be safe to drink.
The real concern is that when the water is out, it has a tendency to suck water back in, a backflow that comes back into the system, which may cause contamination. That is our big fear.
The next step is to test the water, but that can't be done until Tuesday. So until they can verify the water is safe, everyone in Jervis should plan to boil drinking water. The town is then hoping they can get some financial support from the state or the feds to permanently fix the system that was damaged. At a church in Salem this morning, parishioners worshiped outside. Their building was closed off after someone set it on fire late last week. Thomas Schultz was there to see how the Sunday service carried on.
Hundreds of congregants of St. Joseph Church came to worship Sunday morning in the parking lot. Despite a fire started by arson, they say their faith and congregation are as strong as ever. Congregants, young and
I was baptized here 70-some years ago.
Others who have been here for decades, coming to church just like they do every other week. But for the first time, they weren't sitting in their usual pews. Around 2 a.m. Thursday morning, a fire in a dumpster spread to the roof of St. Joseph's. Eventually, it grew to 5 alarms. It was determined that it started by arson. 48-year-old Billy James Sweeten has been arrested in connection with it.
It's devastating to see this church that I've known all my life be attacked like this.
Those at the service can't understand why someone would start a fire here.
Really very, very sad that someone would deliberately do this kind of harm to anybody's house, but also to this house of prayer.
This church has stood for 70 years, but worshiping at this spot actually dates back 100 years earlier to 1853. Now, members are without their church.
That's the building. That's St. Joseph's building. St. Joseph's right here.
While the devastation is overwhelming, so is the community.
Christ is also present out here.
St. Joseph serves 3,000 people. Services are given in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And just a couple months ago, a new priest took the reins.
2 months and he has this.
This. And this.
We will come back. We will.
Faith is alive, and the faith of these people is alive, and their hope. These are people of hope.
It's not yet clear when Mass can move back into the church, but next week they'll worship in the gymnasium. If you'd like to help them recover, you can find out how to do so on our website, KGW.com. In Salem, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
We have an update tonight on the Cowlitz Complex fires burning in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in southwest Washington. Officials say the fires are 5% contained. The complex is made up of roughly 24 small fires burning in a 20-mile radius around the town of Randall. The fires have burned about 700 acres to this point. Fire commanders say most of Gifford-Pinchot has no recorded history of wildfires. That means there's a thick bed of fuel on the forest floor that can cause fires to spread quickly. There are some road closures in the area. And developing now in Nevada, thousands of attendees are still stranded at Burning Man. But it seems some are ignoring the warnings to shelter in place. 2 days of heavy rain left the campgrounds in Black Rock City a muddy mess. There's been one reported death at the event, but there's little information about it at this point. People at the Music and Arts Festival were told to shelter in place and conserve food and water starting on Friday, since it's too muddy for many vehicles to get out. New video tonight, though, shows a line of cars, trucks, and RVs leaving the area. Others are holding out. One festival goer who talked to NBC News says she expects to be stuck for another couple of days.
It's so muddy getting around, like just walking to your tent in the mud is impossible. You know, everybody's putting garbage bags over their shoes or their boots, or they're going barefoot because the mud, you just sink down into the mud. It's a quagmire. It's debilitating.
New form of style there with the garbage bags. Tonight was supposed to be the culmination of the big event when the large wooden effigy burns. It's unclear, though, if organizers followed through with that.